Yo, what is going on, everyone? This is Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast. And in today's video, let's talk about 6 DNP-ish sort of players who are barely playing for their current teams, maybe playing at most 11 minutes per game. Some nights they're getting DNPs. Let's talk about 6 DNP-ish players who could actually play for the Lakers if given a shot. Now, I have Kevin Love as my poster boy here, but rest assured, Kevin Love is not one of the options. He just kind of exemplifies the type of player I'm talking about. A dude who's currently glued to the end of their current team's bench, who, if they were on the Lakers, and honestly, given the Lakers' depth this season, they may not get time with the Lakers as well. But I'm just saying, if they were on the Lakers and minutes opened up, I believe they could actually help this team. So those are the types of players that I'm going to be talking about today. Without further ado, please like this video, comment down below, and most importantly, hit subscribe. Also, don't forget to mash that hype button. All right, so let's push Kevin Love to the side and let's get to my first option with regards to a DNP-ish player who could actually help the Lakers if he were on this roster. And let's talk about Guerschon Yabusele from the New York Knicks. So Guerschon last year returned to the NBA after having a pretty nice standout showing in the Olympics. He signed with the Philadelphia 76ers and had a pretty bang out year for them. He's the former number 16th pick in the 2016 draft by the Boston Celtics. His career didn't pan out. He went overseas, but now he's back around. He signed with the New York Knicks this past offseason to a $5.5 million contract, which is what he's making this year. And then next year, he has another $5 million player option. Guerschon plays the power forward / small ball 5 position. He is now 29 years old. He is 6'7" in height with a nice 7'1" wingspan. But the metric of note with Guerschon is his weight. He weighs 265 pounds, and one look at him, and you would notice that this dude is a tank of a player, a chonky, thick with 2 C's type of small ball 5. Last season with the Sixers, Guerschon averaged 11 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.8 steals, 0.3 blocks on 50% from the field, 38% from 3, knocking down 1.5 threes a game in just 27 minutes. That is what got him this $5.5 million contract with the New York Knicks. But guess what? The Knicks aren't actually using him. Why they signed him, I'm not sure. Maybe he doesn't fit their current system and current need, and maybe that is sort of like a red flag that they're not using him, but rest assured, Guerschon showed us last season that he's a very serviceable and very offensively versatile player with some surprising pop and explosiveness to him as well. He can handle the rock a little bit. He can definitely space the floor, 38% from 3. And yeah, if he were on the Lakers, I feel like he would get a shot, especially if and when the Lakers eventually ship out Maxi Kleber. They could turn to a guy like Guerschon to give them that 2 big lineup group where they can play Ayton next to a spacing 4 like Guerschon and not miss out on some of the rebounding, or they can play small ball 5 with Guerschon, who can create space in the paint. Again, he's barely playing for the Knicks, only about 9 minutes per game, and if he were on the Lakers, he may only play 9 minutes a game, if that, but he would give the Lakers an intriguing option to turn to if they need to turn to such option. All right, now let's move on to my number 2 DNP-ish sort of player, and let's talk about Ochai Agbaji out of the Toronto Raptors, Lakers fans' favorite trade target to go after. Ochai Agbaji is making $7 million this year. He's expiring. He plays the shooting guard / small forward position. He's still only 25 years old. He's 6'5" in height with a 6'10" wingspan. Although from some people, I've heard that he looks more 6'4"-ish. But anyways, 6'4", 6'5" in height. He weighs 216 pounds, has got a nice cut frame to him. Last season with the Raptors, he averaged 10.4 points, 49% from the field, 39% from 3, knocking down 1.6 threes made per game. Very impressive numbers all across the board. And most of all, he has shown improved defensive aptitude as well. Right now with the Toronto Raptors, he's only playing like 9 minutes per game if he actually even plays in a game, because he's also racked up some healthy DNPs. So this is a player that the Toronto Raptors do not need. He's not essential to their rotation. And for the Lakers, I mean, this is a chance to nab nice physical athletic clay who you could morph into a legitimate 3-and-D wing down the stretch coming off of your bench. And so, yeah, I mean, maybe giving up Dalton is too rich, but I would give up Dalton for an Ochai Agbaji flyer. I mean, the dude's still only 25 years old, just a couple months older than Dalton Knecht. And I like what I've seen from him in terms of his defensive potential and his ability to stick to guys in the perimeter, but also his 3-point improvement as well. So there's Ochai Agbaji. I don't have to sell you guys on him. So let's move on to my number 3 DNP-ish target option, and let's talk about Jae'Sean Tate out of the Houston Rockets. Now, you guys already know that this is my personal favorite with regards to a target for the Lakers to either sign or trade for, but it never happens because Jae'Sean Tate, year in, year out, continually just re-signs with the Rockets, and maybe he just plans to retire there. Anyways, Jae'Sean Tate, undrafted free agent back in the 2018 draft. He ended up making the Rising Stars rookie-sophomore game for those first 2 years. He really showed out his first 2 years in the league when he got time and opportunity. That has been a little bit more rare in these recent years when the Houston Rockets have stocked up on more young talent. But anyways, Jae'Sean Tate is currently on a $2.9 million expiring contract. He re-signed with the Rockets this offseason on a veteran minimum deal to return. Jae'Sean Tate plays he could play 4 positions, but he mainly plays the shooting guard, small forward, power forward position. Jae'Sean Tate is now 30 years old. He is 6'4" in height, has a 6'8" wingspan, and weighs 230 pounds. And if you just look at the way that he's built, he is also one of these tank, bully ball, undersized, Draymond Greenish type of power forwards who can be that wrecking ball for you, but also do some offensively versatile things for you as well. So in his career, Jae'Sean Tate has averages of 8 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.8 steals, 0.3 blocks on 49% from the field, 31% from 3, 0.6 threes made per game in 21 minutes per game. And Jae'Sean Tate, I love the most because of his defensive physicality, his ability to guard positions 1 through 4 realistically. He is a hound of a defender. He is super strong. And even offensively, he can do a little bit of everything for you. He can pass the rock. He can put the ball on the floor. You want him to improve his 3-point volume and efficiency, but he can knock down an occasional catch and shoot 3-point shot. Way better than Jared Vanderbilt, of course. But yeah, Jae'Sean Tate, bully ball connective defender that I would love the Lakers to have at the end of their bench. Because once again, he is not playing for the Houston Rockets. He wasn't playing for them last year. He is their break glass in case of emergency sort of wing that they go to when everybody else is injured. And right now, Tari Eason is out for the next couple of weeks. So you may actually see Jae'Sean Tate more on the court a little bit more. But yeah, I would love for Jae'Sean Tate to be the Lakers' break glass in case of emergency wing, because the Lakers could always use more of an infusion of defensive tenacity and defensive aptitude. And that's exactly what Jae'Sean Tate brings outside of his physical enforcer, goonie type of nature as well, which is something that the Lakers also could use. All right, so that's Jae'Sean Tate. Let's move on to my number 4 DNP-ish option, and let's talk about John Konchar out of the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, John Konchar is actually a player that the Lakers have inquired about in the past and actually tried to trade for, which is pretty surprising since John Konchar sort of fits the bill of more of a moneyball sort of player who I wouldn't think Rob Pelinka actually even knew played in the NBA. But regardless, the Lakers have been linked to John Konchar in the past. And when you look at his player profile, it's easy to see why. And maybe Rob Pelinka remembers John Konchar from the Lakers' first round series back in the 2024 playoffs when he blocked Anthony Davis a couple of times. But anyways, John Konchar, he was not drafted in 2019, but he does come from that draft class. He is making $6 million this year and then $6 million next year. Relatively cheap. He plays the shooting guard position. He's now 29 years old. He is 6'5" in height with a 6'8" wingspan and weighs 209 pounds. In his career, John Konchar has averages of 4 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 1 assist per game, 0.8 steals, 0.4 blocks on 47% from the field, 36% from 3, knocking down 0.6 threes a game in just 17 minutes per game. Now, stats don't tell the tale of John Konchar. John Konchar is one of these hustle motor dudes who plays really good defense. He gets a lot of rebounds when he gets time. He's a dude who loves to contest shots at the rim. He gets a lot of blocks for a guard. And I just like his gritty, hard-nosed, physical type of defensive skill set and player profile. I believe that's why the Lakers were trying to go after him. He's like the very poorest man version of an Alex Caruso type. He's not exactly a three-point spacer, although he has shot decent percentages. He just doesn't take a lot of threes. But most of all, you're getting John Conchar to be a connective defender off the bench. And offensively, he's someone who won't take a lot off of the table for you. And so very stable, defensive-minded, and physical 6'5" guard who can block shots, get steals for you, muck things up. There's John Conchar. He's not playing that much for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's only playing 11 minutes per game if he does get shots at the rotation. And so, yeah, if the Lakers wanted to circle the block again on trying to acquire John Conchar, he's available because he's barely playing. All right, quick wild card since we're on the topic of Memphis Grizzlies type players. This isn't an actual option of mine, but let me quickly just bring up John Conchar's teammate, GG Jackson, because GG Jackson is not only is he not playing a lot of minutes for the Grizzlies, like he is the definition of a DNP player for them right now because he's simply not playing. For whatever reason, the Grizzlies' talented, explosive, athletic GG Jackson, who showed a lot of promise in the 2023-24 season, I believe that was his rookie year, yeah, they're just not developing him, or maybe he's not progressing in the right way, but he's an interesting prospect to look at because he's literally not a part of their plans, it seems like. He's making $2.2 million this year and $2.4 million in the 2026-27 season. GG Jackson, small forward, power forward, still only 20 years old, 6'9" in height, 6'11" wingspan, 210 pounds. His rookie season, he averaged nearly 4.6 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1.2 assists, knocking down 2 threes a game, showed a lot of promise and potential. And for me, he's just explosive physical clay that we could add and pair with, you know, Adu Thiero. And so if the Memphis Grizzlies have given up on GG Jackson, I would not mind taking a flyer on him. But again, he's not exactly part of my official list just because I don't think he could slot in and play right away for the Lakers. But again, just an interesting other Memphis Grizzly to sort of monitor and track because he is literally DNPing. All right, with that said, let's move on to my official number 5th option, and let's talk about Jericho Sims out of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Jericho Sims is a center that I was sort of vying for in free agency before the Lakers re-signed Jackson Hayes. I even made a player breakdown video on Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims, former number 58th pick in the NBA draft in the 2021 NBA draft. He re-signed with the Bucks this offseason for $2.4 million, which is, I believe, just the veteran minimum. He has a player option next year for $2.8 million. Jericho Sims, he's a power forward / center, still only 27 years old. He is 6'10" in height with a 7'3" wingspan and weighs 249 pounds. Ironically, just like Jackson Hayes, he came out of Texas. In his career, Jericho Sims has averages of 2.3 points, 4 rebounds, 0.5 assists, 0.2 steals, 0.4 blocks on 71% from the field in just 13 minutes per game. The stats don't tell the tale with Jericho Sims because he just hasn't had a big enough role and enough reps in his career to really fluff that out. But if you watch my breakdown video on Jericho Sims, you would know that he's a very explosive, high-flying vertical lob threat. Unlike Jackson Hayes, he has a lot of bulk to him, and he is the type of center who can sort of move dudes around in the paint. He's also a better rebounder than Jackson Hayes, which is why I was sort of vying for his services in the offseason. But yeah, he hasn't been playing a lot for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, as of the time of this recording, Giannis is set to miss some time with a groin strain, and so that will force Doc Rivers to play Jericho Sims a little bit more. But when everybody's healthy on the Bucks, Jericho Sims barely plays for them, and they tend to opt for playing Bobby Portis or Kyle Kuzma next to Giannis anyways in these small ball lineups. So Jericho Sims underutilized with the Milwaukee Bucks. Could the Lakers use him as their third string center behind Jackson Hayes? Or if Jackson Hayes isn't playing well on any given night, could they just opt for the bulkier version of Jackson Hayes and Jericho Sims because he still does provide Luka with that vertical lob threat? So yeah, there's Jericho Sims. All right, let's move on to my 6th and last DNP-ish target, and let's talk about Kelly Olynyk of the San Antonio Spurs. So Kelly Olynyk, number 13th pick in the 2013 NBA draft. I believe the Dallas Mavericks selected him before Giannis, ironically. Kelly Olynyk is on a $13 million expiring contract. He's a power forward / center, 34 years old, 7 foot in height, 6'10" wingspan, 240 pounds. Last season between the Raptors and the New Orleans Pelicans, he averaged 9 points, 4.7 rebounds, 3 assists, 0.8 steals, 0.4 blocks on 50% from the field, 42% from 3, knocking down 0.8 threes made per game in just 20 minutes. And Kelly Olynyk is your do-it-all utility stretch 5 who can pass the rock for you. He can rebound. He can stretch the floor. He has proven it every stop along the way over the last 3 or 4 years. One of the best backup stretch 5 bigs that you could get, even though he's 34 years old. And Kelly Olynyk is also a physical, competitive player as well. He's not soft. He's not as immobile as guys like Brook Lopez and Nikola Vucevic. And I believe on the Lakers, he would provide them with a nice stretch 5 option if the Lakers want to play a 2 big look lineup with DeAndre Ayton and another spacing big. Kelly Olynyk could be that other spacing big. Or if the Lakers want to play with just a stretch 5, Kelly Olynyk could be that stretch 5 for us. And yeah, with the San Antonio Spurs, now at the time of this recording, Victor Wembanyama is missing several weeks, so Kelly Olynyk is going to be forced into playing more time. But when Wemby was healthy and the Spurs were sort of firing on all cylinders with much of their rotation, Olynyk wasn't playing for the Spurs at all. They were playing Wembanyama, and then Luke Kornet was the backup 5. When Wemby was healthy, Kelly Olynyk was literally racking up the DNPs, and the times that he would play, he was only playing 9 minutes per game. So this is a player that the Spurs traded for him, but honestly, I'm not sure why. I think the Lakers could use him much more than the Spurs have and could. But yeah, Kelly Olynyk would be a great Maxi Kleber replacement if and when the Lakers ship out Maxi Kleber for their upgrade at wing, or maybe if they've exhausted all of their trade options, they're like, hey, why don't we trade Maxi Kleber for Kelly Olynyk? I don't know what we would give the Spurs to incentivize them giving us Kelly Olynyk for nothing, but that's an option on the table. Kelly Olynyk, one of my favorite stretch 5 targets over the last couple of years, despite the fact that he's already 34 years old. All right, so that does it for my 6 DNP-ish players who aren't playing that much for their current teams, who I believe could actually help the Lakers right now. Now, one more wildcard option. I'll just bring his name up really quickly. Devin Carter out of the Sacramento Kings, their former number 13th pick in the 2024 draft, I believe, Dalton's draft. Devin Carter isn't getting any time with the Sacramento Kings, and the Kings are about to blow it all up, I think. They can barely find time for Keon Ellis, and Devin Carter would be an interesting option, even though he is a 6'3" guard, because Devin Carter was known for his defense, and at Providence, he averaged 19 points, 9 rebounds. Nearly 9 rebounds for a 6'3" guard is insane. 3.6 assists, 1.8 steals. I mean, he was getting sort of like smaller Derek White type comps coming out of college. And so if the Lakers can get a hand on another ball handling guard who's mainly known for his defensive capabilities and his ability to rebound the ball, maybe he's more of a Josh Hart. I mean, I would love to take a flyer on Devin Carter if the Sacramento Kings have already given up on him. And again, he's not playing at all, and he's racking up DNPs for them, and they may just blow it up. Now, the reason why Devin Carter was not part of my official list is, could the Sacramento Kings just cut and waive this dude? You know, in that case, the Lakers could just pick him up, and I believe he would still be two-way eligible. And so, yeah, maybe also monitor what happens with the Kings and Devin Carter, because, you know, the Lakers have signed Nick Smith Jr. and a guy like Kobe Buffkin to two-way contracts. I think Devin Carter may provide even more potential than those two players because he's more of a defensive-minded guard. But yeah, that'll do it for my 6 DNP-ish players who aren't currently playing too many minutes for their current teams, who I believe could help the Lakers right now. Let me know what you guys think about these options. Nothing is imminent. If the Lakers actually trade for these players, it won't be till the trade deadline once they've exhausted all of their options with regards to shipping Maxey and Gabe's expiring contracts out. But these are just names to monitor because they may also end up becoming buyout option names if their teams buy them out. And I bring them up because, again, their teams don't seem to have use for them. But on this Lakers squad, who, while deep, and they may not have minutes to give to these players as well, I believe would be great break glass in case of emergency type options that would only further bolster the Lakers' depth. So yeah, just keep these names in mind. Let me know who your favorite option is. And if I missed anybody with regards to a player who isn't being used by their team who could help the Lakers right now, do that all in the comments below. Please like this video, mash that hype button, and most importantly, please hit subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. This has been Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.